Yo guys, welcome to the video. This is Josh or Milky, and in today's video, bit of a spoiler there, we're going to be talking about my Leaguestart for patch 0.3. Did just make a leveling guide, so you've got some spoilers in there if you want to see what I'm going to be playing. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to be looking at starting, how I'm going to progress it, what I'm going to be looking to do during the end game, and some potential like pivots that I might do if things don't work out as planned, because we are working right now with a few unknowns. Obviously, the skill tree is unknown. It does look like there's not much changing in the monk area of the skill tree that we can see from the kind of reveal. Also, there's a ton of new lineage supports. There are additional modifiers added via the Abyss crafting system that we haven't seen all of. There's an entire thing they haven't even told us about Abyss with the cooler mech stuff. Maybe there's some power there. We don't know the nodes on the timeless jewels. So there's a lot of things, and don't worry, I'm not complaining. I don't mind there being stuff to get in there and figure out. I would much rather figure out in-game than out. But lots of things to investigate, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. So I'm playing something that's tried and true, that I've made before. I've played since 0.1. Love it. Falling Thunder. It's my favorite skill in the game. It's just very satisfying to play. Now, I still wish there were better ways to get power charges, and they of course nerfed it a little bit this league in terms of its ability to clear maps. So that fantasy of relying on Falling Thunder almost exclusively in order to clear maps has been significantly reduced. And what I mean by that is you can see right here, where do we have Falling Thunder? We are looking for quality now provides 0 to 20% more damage per power charge consumed. It was previously some chance to not remove charges, so not that significant for Falling Thunder. It was only 10%, so you're going from 45 down to 35% from the gem. And obviously it will be nice to have that additional damage against bosses. I do expect with a fully endgame setup, not even fully endgame, with a decent setup, you'll be one-shotting bosses almost with the correct rotation and setup for your skills. So yep, Falling Thunder is a very, very nice league start if you've never league started before. You are basically an Ice Strike build for the most part, with the like flavor of having Falling Thunder to press on tanky mobs. So don't expect, if you're going to play Falling Thunder, whether it's on Deadeye or Monk or anything, for it to be the main star of the show. Unfortunately, charges in this game just don't work that way. You can't get them in enough amount for that to be the case, at least early on. Later on, you can kind of do it, but on League Start, it's not going to be the star of the show. That leads me into something else. Why am I playing Invoker? And the main reason is I just like playing the monk. I just honestly picked it because I heard a lot of people were playing Invoker, Deadeye. I heard a lot of people were playing Amazon, so I was like, fine, I'll play Monk, you know. I do like the Monk, and there are very good reasons to play Monk. For example, the Meditate node obviously makes going CI and getting energy shield regen a lot better. This is a very, very strong skill. It can overcap you by 50% of your energy shield, so it kind of functions as 50% more energy shield, assuming you have enough regen and cooldown to keep this up at all times, which you definitely can. And also, if you're freezing and damaging everything off screen, just running around with a 50% additional buffer on your EHP is like just going to stop you getting one shot to some random garbage, which is very, very nice. And then, of course, for a league start, Lead Me Through Grace is fantastic, as it's going to give you those extra spirit needs that you'd otherwise maybe find a bit difficult to get from an amulet or a body armor. Getting it from this node is quite easy on a league start. You buy like any chest with decent rolls of evasion and energy shield, and you can slot in whatever you like. So that's Invoker. That's what's going to be decent about it. Now, Sunder My Enemies was of course one of the big stars of the show for this class. Well, maybe not the star of the show, but it was very good, right? Now there are other ways for us to kind of mitigate enemy resistance, whether that's via the Rakiata's lineage gem, which I can show here. It inverts the enemy resistances, which is obviously more than using the Ascendancy. Also, the updates to the penetration gems. I can't show them here. They're not official yet, but it does say that at the higher rank of the gems that it allows hits with that skill to ignore enemy resistances of that type. So that obviously makes the Invoker node a bit less desirable as well. So this now mainly for maybe if you'd like multi-element. Yeah, there's just other ways to deal with that problem. Now, obviously, I don't have them in this pub. It will be updated with those as we get them, but this isn't fully updated yet. Okay, that's why Invoker. Now we can go and look. So leveling, we're going to go Glacial Cascade. As I said, there's a video on my YouTube on this. We're going Glacial Cascade into Ice Strike using Tempest Spell. The normal stuff. You're pretty much just going to be Ice Striking mobs for the duration of the campaign, putting down your Tempest Spell, blowing everything up. it's simple stuff, really. Then later on, we're going to be using Hand of Chiula. We can get curses on this. We can use things like Hypothermia, Sniper's Mark to get additional frenzy charges. Combat Frenzy is going to be giving us charges. And that's when we can start maybe thinking about slotting in Falling Thunder, because at that point, we're going to have enough power charges to actually start spending them on things, because we need a few supports as well. Maybe a 4-link, 5-link on our Falling Thunder is going to be ideal for this point. And one other thing that we can do with Falling Thunder and Hollow Palm, of course, Hollow Palm is going to give us a ton of attack speed once we get that gear. Baseline, you have 1.2 attack speed unarmed, and then you can get much more attack speed from Hollow Palm than you would a weapon. The thing that we need to figure out how to leverage is going to be the attack speed. And the way I'm going to do it is by having a weapon swap where, so in one stance, I'm kind of ice striking, you know, I'm beating everything up, building combo points, doing all that stuff, firing off a ton of charge staff because I have so much attack speed, moving around really fast. And then I'll have a weapon swap, which I will use an actual weapon to use the Falling Thunder, because then I can put things on it like projectile speed, projectile damage. I can have things like wall chain, additional damage against enemies on full life, so things that are like off screen are just getting one shot. My Herald of Thunder's popping off, my Herald of Ice is maybe popping off, whatever I choose to use on top of that. Having that instant weapon swap is just absolutely massive. And all we lose to that, obviously we are going to lose some ES, but we're going to obviously have that nice overflow of ES from Meditate. So I don't suppose this is going to be that much of a problem unless you know, you're using it in really you know, really bad moments. But with enough attack speed and all that, that will work out absolutely fine. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about to do with Falling Thunder with the weapon swap tech. That's all kind of like the new stuff. There's not really anything else new that I can think of other than the supports we haven't really seen yet. So we'd go on to a bossing setup. Now, bossing is going to be really great for this build. Now, bossing is going to be fantastic for this build because one thing you can do is obviously build up a ton of combo points by attacking incredibly fast with Ice Strike. You can also then freeze the boss, and once the boss is frozen, you can have your Infernal Cry popped, fire out your Falling Thunder with all the combo points, and you're just going to melt any. You're just going to one-shot anything. Now, map bosses, they melt to just your Ice Strike, really. But against those tier 4 bosses, even T3 tier 4 bosses, you're going to be able to literally one-shot them, I think, with Falling Thunder. Obviously, not literally a one-shot, because you're going to have to build up the combo points. But yeah, you can get an absurd amount of damage on Falling Thunder. You'll be one-shotting bosses, I'm almost certain. And that obviously is still with the weapon swap as well, because you get so much more damage with a weapon swap, and then obviously so much more damage from your weapon set points, dropping all the defense into damage. You're just going to be letting off a tactical nuke every time you press Falling Thunder against the boss. It's going to be insane. So yeah, got a lot of fun there. That's going to be great to do. I'm looking forward to that. And then I do have like a super end game. Everything's a 6-link setup. It doesn't have to be everything's a 6-link setup, but just something to look for, you know. We're going to do Ice Strike, Falling Thunder, Temper Spell, Charge Staff. Now, the big thing here is I'm going to drop Resonance. If you don't know how Resonance work, it converts your Frenzy charges that we're gathering into power charges. That's how we're dealing with our power charges early on, right? With Combat Frenzy, Sniper's Mark. Well, here we're saying forget that. We're going to go with the Profane Ritual. And what this does, it will consume a corpse and grant you a power charge. You can then make that give you additional charges. You can make it like happen faster. Just get tons of charges coming in. And then for that, we basically want to make sure that we're freezing. But it's going to be cast on ailment now, but I imagine the shock value to energy rate is going to be really low. So you're going to want to be freezing and on all that as often as possible. And for that reason, I'm going to do something I did last league where I use Ambrosia and Embitter so that I turn all of the lightning damage I get from Ambrosia into cold damage. And I'm going to freeze everything. Everything's going to pop. I'm going to get all those power charges back, and then you'll be able to start just spamming out Falling Thunders. And at that point, it's when you want to start looking and getting as much move speed as possible, because you're just going to be able to just Falling Thunder on cooldown. Sorry if I'm talking really fast, by the way. I'm an excitable guy. Now we have the gear. For gear, obviously, it's very important to get evasion and energy shield as much as possible on all our gear, because that's how Hollow Palm works. On your helmet, you're going to get pure ES because of this node right here, Subterfuge Mask. It's going to give you 2 evasion per energy shield. Maybe for Hollow Palm, there's something to be said about going hybrid, because then you'll get a little bit more attack speed instead of crit. But I imagine the crit's probably the better node, honestly. Then Amulet, obviously this is aspirational. You're not going to have this from the get-go. That's a pretty insane Amulet. Boots, if you didn't play past like quite early on in the last league, you can get a lot of move speed on boots now. You get 35% from prefix, which you could obviously already get, but there are now runes that give 5% move speed, and you can get this 100% increased effect of socketed items. And you can also get the bases now that give you an additional socket, so you can potentially get up to an additional 30% move speed on your boots compared to just a base prefix. So we're going to get plenty of move speed from there, and yeah, we should be zipping around and blasting. So so it looks good. In the end game, we're going to have hundreds of millions of DPS, I'm certain, with this end game gear. And my experience in the past playing Falling Thunder from level 1 is that it's a very, very smooth league start. It is a very good league start skill, and if you're thinking of doing it, it would get my thumbs up if that means anything to you. I think Falling Thunder is fantastic to league start. Maybe the monk is the questionable thing. As I said, I kind of just want to play it because everyone's playing Deadeye, and I just want to do something a bit different, and there are solid reasons to be a monk. But yeah, Falling Thunder, quarterstaff skills, hollow palm or not, very, very good for starting out. And if you want to do it, this planner will be linked in the description. I'll be streaming the whole time I play. Everything will be live and documented. There's a max roll guide that will be updated to include this endgame build once I've got it figured out. There's a leveling guide already on there. I have the leveling video from yesterday. Plenty for you to chew on until we wait for the new league to come out. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.